What a place. More cars. Bigger bridges. Higher buildings than anywhere else in the world, all carried to the nth degree. The American way of life isn't exactly restful, is it? Run around in circles, work hard, live strenuously, play hard. Why, even fall hard. This is some people's idea of relaxing on Coney Island. Relax or be damned.
Down in this wide world, all alone. Sometimes I don't know where to roam.
If only I didn't love the place so. This is what I see from my window.
To make that city mine.
Sometimes at sundown, I get to thinking that maybe everyone's really tired after a hard day's work. And going home, the streets empty out, and the whole city sleeps. Well, I'm wrong every time. These people don't need any sleep. New York man is vitamin man, always on the go. There I am. That's me, Nathaniel Pearson, fashion designer. Fine figure of a man, sort of dashing, taller than most, no criminal record, 30 years old and already a celebrity. Right now, I've had celebrity in a big way. This is where I work. Work? Oh, hell. A successful genius is never off the telephone. I hate it. My assistant Maya, my saving grace from Paris.
Atelier Pearson? Oh, it's you, Joe. Moment, please. Maestro Pearson, it's that woman's journal.
Hello, Joe. What's bothering you? What's that?
No, but Mr. Pearson, we've been talking about it for ages. Your new collection. We want to take the photos for it.
What pictures? What photos do you mean?
It was all quite clear. The mannequins are coming and the models made to measure. What's that? Well, finally. Well, heaven be praised. And you too, naturally. Well, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
coffee will do you good.
What's that? Oh, perhaps you're right. Well, that's pretty good. That's what you pay for being famous, hounded from pillar to post, from one discussion after another, from studio to studio. Hands full all the time, and never a moment to spare to get acquainted. The man in white is a fashion photographer, famous and exclusive. The girl in the red and white is a star mannequin, famous and very exclusive. If only with all this fame one could get at least one good night's sleep in 20. Ah, no, thank you. Not now. Do you wonder that we famous people sometimes long to be able to dig potatoes in fields instead of all this? Ah, and here's dear Joe, the editor for whom this whole circus is being staged. She's only 1 hour late. Look at us, haggling, bickering, smiling sweetly and going for each other. Why don't we realize that we help each other? She doubles the circulation of her magazine through my creations, and I get paid by her for my genius. You scratch my back, and I'll scratch yours. Just look at that woman. She isn't quite sure whether she really likes my latest work. Not uncovered enough, if you please. All right as far as they go. Quite attractive in their little way. But, says she, what about something newer, something more original? That does it. I get mad. Look at me. I rant and scream. I say, no more. I'm through. At last, Pearson says no. No!
But please, maestro.
Pearson!
No,
what's
no,
the
no.
matter?
No, I'm moving.
Where's he going? Well, that takes care of that.
Next thing, I seek consolation. And I don't find it. The world is against me. There's only one thing left to do.
Now, what does one do when a star loses his head and just takes off, leaving millions of my readers without a clue what to wear for the bathing season? Well, one runs after the star. But Pearson had disappeared without a trace. There was no answer. Or a very incoherent answer. What now? Ah, brainwave. Maya, an old friend of mine. She even agreed to trail him with me. Pearson had done me out of my feature, but if it was the last thing I ever did, I was determined to get an article about the great man on his trip. Reese, is it? Okay by us. Our quarry's doing a bit of hunting. Did you ever see a more beautiful pair of bloodhounds? It really is strange. This ruin is more beautiful than most buildings on Earth. It makes a good headline for my article, too. Fashion designer takes flight. Seeking the ancient roots of our culture. With his sketchbook always ready. Don't I make a fetching spy? That's how I got my first shot of Pearson.
Wonderful, wonderful. No photographers, no press, no telephoning, no hurry. The more I pottered around in the harbor, the more inviting the sea became. I must be an old sea dog at heart. And as the sun sinks slowly into the ancient skyline, our ship puts in at the peaceful, unpeopled isle, and I can work on my bottle.
So now the great man had decided to play at being sailor. All right, Sinbad, two can play at that game. Just imagine the fun. Hide and seek on the Isles of Greece.
Pure balm for my shattered nerves, far away from prying eyes, from the rude world and its trials and tribulations, far away from all problems and troubles. Troubles? Trouble. Hey, there's a lot of water around here. And not many mechanics. Where are they? All doing overtime in the rude world, far away.
That takes care of his night's rest in a comfortable hotel bed in the midst of his rude world. Nice, hard planks, away from it all. Poor genius.
It's a dream. I'm still dreaming.
I told Joe, she's a very wicked girl to disguise her voice as a Greek journalist and plague poor Pearson so. Oh, I'm sorry for the maestro. And there is no one to soothe him. Of course, he will not give an interview here. He will run away.
I'll show these prying journalists they can't shove me around. I feel as if they're closing in all around me. Can't I get peace and quiet anywhere? I'll leave their country. What do you mean, where to? Why, anywhere. My next port of call. Now, where is it? Can you guess? 1,000 temples. Golden Buddhas. Fantastic shapes. And barefoot monks. The Venice of the East. Got it? It's not too cold either. Did you ever see a market so swimming in goods? Did you ever see a swimming market?
Joe followed Pearson alone on his sightseeing tour of Bangkok. Too hot for me. In this weather, Maya goes bathing. One of the girls on the island, Birgit, had told me there was a beach for nature lovers at Bangkok too. As an air hostess, she knows in many countries the people who enjoy sea, sun, and air in this way. I had to search for it, but in the end I arrived.
Pearson travels again. Why was I doing all this? To get rid of money? No. There must have been something behind all this wandering around like the Flying Dutchman. Let's face it, I'm a genius, and I was instinctively looking for ideas.
Would you believe it? Hardly arrived, and there he goes again, the maniac. We only just made it. 10 minutes ago, we didn't even know where we were going. Now this is where we made our big mistake. Instead of keeping far away from Pearson, we sat right behind him. No other seats, they said. I had a feeling something would go wrong. It did. He knocked off my hat, and that took care of that.
Oh, very sorry. You!
Well, now, Mr. Pearson, how delightful to see you.
Well, how did you get here?
I flew.
Aha. Interesting. Tell me, what on earth are you here for?
Well, with your gracious permission, I'm working. A reportage. Would you mind terribly?
Oh, yes, of course. Very sorry.
Thank you very much. Luckily, Pearson hadn't spotted Maya. If he had, he'd never have believed my story about the reportage, although there was some truth in it.
We took rooms at a hotel with the elaborate exchange of courtesies Tokyo demands. How strange. Here we are, this curious faraway creature and me, looking down on teeming Tokyo from adjoining windows, as if my thoughts about her had conjured her up.
After Joe and Pearson had left the aeroplane, the forsaken Maya had to go and find a hotel by herself. How glad I was when on the off chance I called up Brigitte and, voila, she is in Tokyo. Quelle chance! We make sightseeing in Tokyo. We walked 15,000 miles.
For weeks I'd been sneaking around after Pearson, and suddenly here we were together, going out on the town. He was more or less human, too.
Tough babies, these Japanese wrestlers. The idea is not to put your opponent on the mat, but to lift him off it.
Of course, we just had to end up at the world's biggest and most famous nightclub, the Mikado Club.
find this is fun.
Is it really any different from New York or Paris?
You're not all that stupid for a woman.
Is that your kind of compliment?
Goodbye and sayonara.
After the show, we had a nightcap at the hotel. I left Pearson at the bar and was on my way to my room when some demon of inquisitiveness prompted me to try his door and look in his room for something I just wanted to have a quick glance at. There it was on the table. He didn't like it one little bit. Oh, I tried to explain that I was just dying to have a look at his new ideas. And I tried to tell him that I thought they were sensational. But it was no good. He just kept on yelling at me. He threw me out. His language wasn't that of a gentleman, so I went.
Sensational?
Well, that cooked my goose. By the time I asked for him the next morning, he'd taken off like a bat out of hell. Destination unknown. What now? Before our fight, he hadn't said a word about where he might be going after Tokyo. Now, millions of magazine readers nonplussed at not being told what swimsuits to wear. And all this just because a few people have gone out of their tiny minds and are tearing around all over the world in ever-decreasing circles. It could happen. And it could also happen that a man like Pearson, back at work, refreshed and brimming with brilliant ideas, designs swimsuits that not a soul wears, but that the press are falling over themselves and everyone else to show.
Yes, why not? Let's see.
Maestro, I have a request, please.
What is it?
I'm mad keen on one of these bathing costumes.
Which one?
This one.
Come out now, Susan.
And now, please.
Yeah, a little bit over there.
And now turn around, please.
Yeah, that's better.
Here we go.
Joe? Joe, come and see this.
Coming in a minute.
What do you say to that, eh?
What that is so, huh?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Good, thank you.
Go on, Joe. Why don't you try it on?
Well, all right, just for you.
Hold it. Okay. Thanks. Next, please.
Oh.
Hey, sensation.
You see? Yes, the ultimate. Top full. Watch out for it.